I know you waiting for daddy. It won't be long, shorty. Be patient, cause I'm coming for you. Riding dirty on 85, slow, taking it easy. I don't want nothing to keep me from you. What's up, my guy? We riding north on 85 in week 30. Big Curry, you already know. And Merriam-Webster's word of the day is mitigate. So that is to make something less severe, harmful, or painful. So, you know, when you can, for those that are deserving, try to mitigate situations and circumstances. Put a little good out in the world. Of course, we always start with the working out that did or didn't occur. And this one was straight because I had 2 walks, hikes, whatever I guess you would call it. Let me see. Nope, that was actually for week 31. So, can't speak on it. But I had 2 walks / hikes or whatever, if I ain't mistaken. Yeah, one of them I jogged. I did a little light jog, whatever, and kept a halfway decent pace. So, not bad. And again, this was 31, so it was like I can't speak on it. But I tried to get even more active. Did a little too much, but we'll be alright. So, get back on my I always say I ain't gonna talk about it, but I ain't gonna talk about it. Well, no, I will, because there's some stuff that I did in Curry 30 that I'm gonna get to address. So sometimes, you know, I do what I say I'm gonna do. Again, especially if it's having accountability to other people, as I, you know, typically speak on. So I know there's that with the working out. We always talk about jobs that did or didn't occur. Again, I've had like multiple recruiters reach out. I think like 3 in the last week or so. Some, it was just like, no. Some of them I didn't have a serious license. The federal licenses that they be asking for. So it's like, nope, I don't fit that, not taking it. Thank you, but no thank you. Some it was like, I haven't made that little money in God knows when. And again, to commit to 40 hours to any job, you gotta pay the top of my number now because it don't make sense when I make them on my own, which July is over. I calculated up July, and towards the end of July specifically, because of some things that I'll reference and let you know happened during week 30, I took off a fair amount of days and had some lighter days. And you know, like I said, if you factor in the soccer camp, not really trying to be going crazy long certain days and stuff like that, and for me to still have came out net more than what I normally make gross, like I said, yeah, I think we'll be straight. So I'm not finna commit to less money, you know, just because, well, I know it's gonna come on Friday. You're right. Guess what? I don't know what's gonna come from Sunday to Friday, but I know every time it's been more than what, you know, I'd make, especially if I don't even get my number. That's foolish. So yeah, no, I bet on myself. Like I said, won't nobody else hire me? I hire myself. I've hired myself, and I'm trying to give myself a little promotion of sorts or whatever as far as these finances. You're tailgating very hard. I don't know why or where you think you're going. I'm not gonna move over. That's foolish. You're going to wait. So that's that. Oh yeah. So like I said, some of the jobs that the license wasn't there. I did reply to one, sent the resume. If I hear back, fine. If not, that's fine too. I know in 29, Eric Dickerson, I spoke about the last job that I had interviewed for, and like I said, it had gone, I think it had been around a month or a little over a month. And so I was like, yeah, guess that done started. Actually, I was wrong. So right after I said that, the brother that put me in contact or told me about the rec and gave me the reference reached out like literally like right after I said that, like a day or 2 after I said that, was like, hey man, I just left a meeting, so we're moving along with the project, this, that, and the third, and your name came up, so be on the lookout for the next interview. Okay. All thing with that is, because I pointed out to him when he first told me about it. I was like, hey, looking on this rec, I don't see a salary. And he's like, it should be on there. Went back and looked, no, it still ain't on there. So when he reached back out, I'm like, hey, do we know the salary? You know the range or the band for this? And he's like, no, I don't know. Alright, cause you know, if the money ain't right, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And I can't deal with that. So we'll see, you know, if and when I hear back. So waiting to, like I said, see what the next step in the process is. If we hear back and the money makes sense, hey, we'll take it. If not, hey, I keep rocking out and doing my thing, baby. So that's that as far as the job 3 hours. So knocked the dresser out. They were satisfied. Ended up spinning a block because I was like, yeah, you know, I put stuff together, mount TVs. So do we do TVs? Absolutely. They had the TV in their living room up, and they wanted the wires to be concealed, which I never done. I ain't doing them there, but I'm like, yeah, I'm confident I can do it. So went, brought the kit, charged for the kit. Whew, man. And that can be just fine. Now I have to go and look because the stud was in the way, and I just worked through the stud. Literally, I worked through it. But if the stud wasn't in the way, man, this would have took literally less than 10 minutes. Just okay, no stud, and it wasn't like on the stud, I didn't think like I'm just checking left to right versus up and down because they had to drop down with the fish tape and everything. First time doing it, so I'm okay. Boom, drill. Use the attachment to drill the hole into the wall at the top. Boom, go to drop it, and use the fish tape, and it's like boop boop boop. I'm like, oh no, because the hole's already there. So I'm like, and the cord was already short. Like I was gonna have to get an extension cord. So I should have. What she wanted. I don't know. But I worked it out. I got it through. She's satisfied. I got to go back this week because she went to Vegas. She went to Vegas for her best friend's birthday. So I believe later this week she'll call me back to. She should be getting a bed and something else that she need me to put together. It's a bed, I think in her guest room or the room for her daughter. A bed and maybe a dresser or a nightstand table, something. I know it's two things that she said she got to order. She gonna need put together, as well as I need to do some drywall. So I told her like I'm no drywall expert, but I can. The hole won't be there. You just have to paint it. She like they gonna paint when I leave anyway, so I ain't worried about that. I'm like, all right, cool. So I had that job. That was the first one on the 23rd. If I ain't mistaken, yep, I had 2 that day. I had 2 jobs that day. So another client, again, people that relocate. This client was from Georgia, from the A, down there in the dirty. Actually, I'm from Georgia right now myself, but that's where she's from. She relocated within the last year. So she needed a dresser put together, women in dressers, a dresser put together as well as a vanity. So we was there till the late night. And I think I left by, I finished up that dresser at about 11:30 that night. So we was there for a while, good conversation. She had, I think, Game of Thrones, or one of them like old-timey shows, something with House of Dragon or something like that. I don't know. It was interesting. I don't typically watch stuff like that, but hearing it, her describing it, and like I said, I get excited. Other people's enthusiasm, even if it isn't something that I'm particularly excited about, that's like how people say I'm an empath. That's infectious to me. If you're talking about different, let's say those trees over there, somebody is what would it be? I think, would they be an arborist? I think a tree expert would be an arborist. I don't gotta guess. Let me ask Google real quick. That was an arborist. Yes, somebody that specializes in trees. So we ride, and if somebody was an arborist was super excited and telling me about those trees and woods and different stuff, it just out there excited me. Oh man, all right, and I'd be all into it. Are you trying to be? No, I'm not trying to do that at all. But it just sounds fun because you talking about it. So we had that job and knocked that out. Like I said, a vanity and a dresser. She was beyond satisfied with the work. Both of them went off without a hitch. Everything was fine. It was just like I, tell people all the time. This stuff just takes a while. Like I said, there's a way to do things faster. I know that I'm way faster than I was because some things I can just see and know now. Whatever I do, I'm still going through and using the manual to make sure that I don't make any mistakes. It's still just like I tell people, hey, look, before I get there, if you've already opened this or send it to me so I can see the manual, and I go look at the manual, and like I said, if I see 80 cam bolts and cam locks, a bunch of different screws, if it's 8, 9, beyond 6 drawers, it's finna be 3 to 4 hours. That's just how long it's gonna take, because I'm gonna put all them rails on there, I'm gonna put all them drawers together. That stuff just takes time. So, there's that, but she was satisfied with the work. I already said that in her, because she has like a loft apartment, so it's like an upstairs, but it's still like not traditional upstairs. If you know what a loft apartment, she got a loft apartment, whatever. So she's like, I need a TV up there and then some other stuff. Hey, keep ordering whatever you got. As long as you got the money, leave it to me. I got you. So we had her work. Transplant, Next client, next day, guy from New York. He had a 3-part job. He had a storage bed, which storage beds I'm just like, this is gonna be whatever. But this storage bed was actually one of the simplest. The drawers were some of the simplest ones I've done. It literally took me, I'm looking now, an hour exactly. It took me 1 hour to do. I want to say it was that might be I think it's a queen. Queen size bed with storage drawers. So I gave the price. He was like, that's cool. So we knocked the bed out for him. He had another room where he was putting a gaming desk and a gaming chair. So I don't know if he does streaming or gaming or what, but put that together for him again. He was satisfied with the work, and he was like, yeah, man. He was putting his couch together. He had a modular couch that he was putting together. It was taking him a little minute, and I was like, oh, okay, he did pretty solid with it from what I saw. And I was like, yeah, man, we got some more. He was like, yeah, I'm just doing this couch because I don't have to be at the house, but I'm gonna be here anyway. Like, you here, you're doing the other stuff. And he was like, the main thing was I just wanted to have my bed put up, man. My bed is somewhere to sit. So the desk and the chair was just extra. But he was like, I definitely got dressers and other stuff coming together. Man, I'm busy. I don't got time to put this in. Hey, leave it to me, my brother. I got you. So he was like, for sure, I got you locked in. You do TVs? Absolutely. Cool. I'm gonna hit you for the TVs when I'm ready. Hey, you just let me know. We'll get you on the schedule ASAP, and I'll get it done. So again, all 3 of those transplants got future work. Like I said, I've already been back to the first lady house to put her TV up. So I put her TV up after I did the dresser, filled the hole, and then ran the down. I because of the complications I had, and having to go to the store to get. I already had the kit. What else I had to go back for? I already had the kit. I had to go to Walmart for something. What was it? I know she needed the extension cord, but it wasn't just the extension cord. It was something else. Oh, her TV. The TV she didn't have a mount, so I ran to Walmart to get a mount and an extension cord for her. So that added to the time or whatever, because it was like once, and like I say, because rather than fish shape, I had to go through the what you call them things, the stud. That, oh my God, that added about almost an hour, man. About an hour to that. Like I said, without that, 10 minutes. Going through that stud, hour and 10, hour and 15. So I was like, yo, I thought this was gonna be the easy part. Of course, the TV was easy. You know, once I went and got the mount, came back, 20 minutes, 25 maybe, TV was up. Like, I'm definitely doing those in under 25 minutes. So TV was not zoop zoop, stud, find it, balance, get the mount on the back, you know, get the on the arms on the back of the TV, get the mount up on the wall. And like I say, you know, before I was just ratchet socket, and now I got the adjustments and attachments. I told you last time I worked with Uncle Phil, and we put up that gazebo, and I was like, man, I'm gonna get on somebody. Man, you gonna get none of this stuff. Boy, what? And so now when I'm doing TVs, and I can and get them thick screws in for the TV to go straight into the stud versus me hand cranking them. And I feel more, you know, like, nah, they in there. Like, don't get me wrong, when I'm cranking them, like, yeah. But again, it saves time and just, you can feel it. Like, nah, whether it's using the impact driver or the drill, either one, they doing their thing. And like I say, saved me plenty of time. So I was like, all right, we in the game, great. So knock those out. Yep, that's her TV in her room. So did his stuff, and let me see. It's 25th. I think that was the last one for that week, right? I said the 29th, 27th. Oh no, that ain't the last. So I had that, and I had a client. They reached out, and I was still kind of skeptical on it or whatever. That was a real hectic day, wasn't it? Yep, because I did her TV. So all this was on the 25th. I did her TV the 25th, and like I say, that dang on threw me off. Having to go through the stud, so that added way more time than expected. But I still made it to my next job on time or whatever. I guessed long. I usually like try to leave myself room for error or for complications and problem children to come along while I'm working. And I guessed right. So boom, guessed just right for the problem child. I got to the job that I had told them I could still about 30 minutes. No, about 10 minutes, right around on time. So got there. Ain't that took that long? Let me see. Hang on. Yeah, it took about 4. Okay, that still ain't bad for what it was. I thought I knew it was gonna take a minute. So I had a client reach out, and you know, be quick on the draw, trying to reply in 0 minutes. As soon as you hit me, I hit you back with the message and hey, you know, this is Leave the Miss Simple. How can I help you? You got this and the third. Can you send it? It helps. Like I said, sometimes it cut the competition out or whatever. So reached out, and we set up schedule. Boom. So it was actually a Marcy at-home gym exercise machine with like the bench press, or the press, chest press, lat pulls, like pull downs, and leg extensions. So hadn't done one of those before. Again, I had we'll get to that. One of those myself at the house that I, spoke on getting for free last year off of Marketplace. And it's like, all right, I'm like, man, I know I can do this. It got instructions, I can follow it. And I'm like, it's gonna be crazy complicated, it's gonna be hard, but I can get it done. It actually wasn't complicated at all. There's a lot of pieces, but for what it looks like versus what it takes, again, now it takes a minute. It's a lot of pieces. You gotta do everything right, like with anything else. Again, it's gonna take a while. Like I said, it took about 4 hours or whatever, which wasn't bad for what that was and for what I charged. Very satisfied with, what I got paid. So I was like, yeah, that's solid. And I definitely, now that I've put, together something like that, oh yeah, no problem. Now, if it's a more complex, and I know what to charge now because I know, I know how long it's gonna take. I know what I'm gonna have to put in. So, it's gonna cost. But if you want it done, you want it done right. And of course, I sat down, and it was funny because the guy was like a year or two older than me. So I tested it or whatever on, I think the highest set, it was a 150-pound set. So I pressed it on 150, pressed it on the lowest, pressed it in the middle. But when I think I did lowest, middle, then highest. So I left it on the highest, and I was like, go ahead and test it before I leave. So you can, I ain't trying to hear what work. He was, one of us or whatever. So he was like, nah, I got you. He looking, oh, no, I ain't finna do it on that. I'm gonna go ahead and take it down. I was like, no, I just wanted to make sure, because he had sons, and he coaches football, and he had said, versus now his sons don't have any excuse. Kind of like I was saying, I ain't got no excuse. Now I still make them. It's hard to make an excuse for why you can't work out when you're at home. You ain't got to go to the gym. The gym that came to you. So I was like, yeah, just in case them boys feeling themselves, I ain't want nothing to snap or whatever. If it did, it wasn't gonna be because nothing I did wrong. We see now. I tested it. I put up some reps with the 150, pull, leg extensions, all that, and you did it too. Lowest, highest. I trust my work. That's good. Like there's nothing wrong with that. If it goes wrong, it's a manufacturer or parts defect, but it ain't nothing that I did. So we did that, and like I said, that made me feel really good. And it also had me like, but this don't make sense because I have one of these at home, and the only thing I needed to do with the one that I had, emphasis on had, HAD, not HAVE, is swap out the wire, restring it, recable it or whatever. And it was just like, had over a year, never did it. And I'm making it more complicated in my head. I did a whole one from scratch, like from 0 to complete, and strung it. And it took me 4 hours. And now that I've done it, stringing the one I had would only took me like maybe no more than 10 to 20 minutes at the longest. Like that is actually the simplest part. And so it's like, but with that, we'll go ahead and get to it. Ask somebody to reach out, hey man, I'll pay you this for it. You will. It's just been taking up space in my garage. Cool, let's go ahead and get, so I got that up out of there. So that's no longer there, which I have been trying to get rid of it anyway, so I'm happy with that. Had the kids clear out space, and 3 guys showed up, they loaded it up, and they left with it, they were satisfied. So I'm gonna move my bench over, and that'll make more room for when it's winter time, because my garage door is getting fixed, I think on Wednesday. Ooh, God, let me triple check. Ooh. Let me make sure I got my life together. I might have messed around and double booked here. I'm glad that I checked that. But yeah, make sure I'll be home for them to fix the garage door. So I gotta get that situated. But yeah, man. So that was that. And then the client that my oldest had worked with me that all day, they had just moved in. We did 3 queen size storage beds. We did 3 beds, mounted the TV, put the couch together, and fixed the dressers and the nightstands or whatever. They called back, had a table. It took me, I think, like a little less than an hour, like 45, 50 minutes. I knocked that out. They were satisfied, of course. So she's like, we get some more stuff, then I'll let you know. Hey, don't hesitate. So we knocked all that out, and let's say 29th. Least but not last, as far as work goes, we had a couple that reached out in another area that was like, hey, we have a dresser and a full-size bed that had a storage and a trundle. And I'm like, hey, I got to charge a little more than that. That's fine. So they was fine with what I charged, got there, and it still was a little, it wasn't even the bed. Now the bed still took, let me see, bed probably took about 3.5 hours. Dresser took just under 3. And that was the thing, like, this dresser took dang near as long as the bed. It was one of the most, I feel like, 1, 2, 3, 4. How many drawers is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. A 6-drawer dresser. This was easily the most complex 6-drawer dresser I've ever done. Like, as far as parts, assembly, everything. Yo, this here, I'm like, the dresser gonna take me. 6 drawers gonna take an hour and a half. Hour is super simple. Like, I think the simplest like dresser I've had was the couple I had down, who I ended up getting their stuff, and the husband like, that ain't gonna be able to fit. That set was like extremely simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, everything laid out. It makes perfect sense. Got it done, no problem. This right here. I'm like, man, I could have did two. I literally could have did 2 other 6-drawer, a lot of other 6-drawer dresses in the same amount of time that I did this one. So I was like, yeah, you ain't get the simplest dresser. This one right here added. So knocked that out, knocked the bed out. Actually, the bed ended up taking about 3 hours. So yeah, they both took about 3 hours. I was there a little over 6, and then you gotta remember the time that it'll take, you know, taking unboxing everything, and it was like boxes downstairs. Both dressers and the bed had multiple boxes, so that's getting boxes out for multiple parts. It just was a lot, but we got it done. So I did that, and I said this last week that it'd be either week 30, Curry, or 31. Who there? Is that Reggie Miller? 31, 33. Let me see. I don't like to guess. No, it was Reggie Miller. I think it was 30, 31. Reggie Miller. Jersey number. Come on, man. What's the man jersey number? Alright. Hang on. Yeah, 31. I said it was gonna be Kerr. It was gonna be a shooter either way, whether it was Kerr or whether it was Reggie, and it ended up being Kerr, man. So when I finished that job up, and like I say, I appreciate them. Sometimes you'll get it with some clients, sometimes you don't. They were one of the ones that was like, yeah, that actually was more complex, so I'm gonna make sure I leave you a tip. And the tip was, hey, that tip, what you left, that gets it a lot closer to what I actually should have charged. Maybe like between $25 and $40 off, but I'm gonna take it. And it was like actually enough where it was like, look, boom, I said we're gonna, you know, take a trip, and I'm gonna have a report of it. We went to the beach. We actually went, man, got up there. I got home that night. Hey, everybody, I think I said it that day before I left, like, get y'all stuff together, we're going to the beach tomorrow. And they was like, huh? Hear what I said? So got home, got some rest, everybody had their stuff packed up. The next morning we woke up, get on the road, boom. Picked up my girl, a little bit went with us, ran to the beach, went to Virginia as I wanted to, and everybody got pictures by the Welcome to Virginia state sign and everything. So it was super dope, man. We stayed for a night because my youngest, he had to be back so he wouldn't get behind on karate. So we went, stayed for a night, got there early in the daytime, stayed out there for hours, enjoyed the beach, stopped back out on the way out or whatever. Just had a good time. My oldest, Ron, he actually was like, I got, is it optional? And I was like, no, man, we're going. You know, and I told him, I'm like, I'm only, you know, a lot of the trips we take this last year, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm gonna make you go. Because if you didn't want to go now, once you're an adult, 18, 19, 20, especially if you ain't living at home, I have no, you know, nothing to incentivize or hold over your head, you know, with making you go. So it was like, nah, man, just get these last memories and pictures. I said, the last one I'm gonna force you to go. Now this next year, yeah, you turn 18 in January, but you're still gonna be living in my house, so still gotta go. Unless you're gonna move out. Again, that's some black parent stuff. It's messed up. It is what it is. I'm gonna get these memories and pictures with you. That ain't about forcing. It's to get those pictures and stuff. Because again, if you're already of that mind now that you don't want to go, I'd be very surprised if you choose to go in your last, you know, years of being a teen and 20s once you're out and on your own. So, hey man, let me get some pictures and memories with you. You know, one day I'll be old and gone, and one day you'll be older, and I'll be, you know, you may have kids, children of your own. You may not think it now, but I don't know too many people that are able to look back, you know, unless it's people like, I hated the way I looked, whether it's I was heavy or I hadn't came into my own, I ugly duckling syndrome, whatever insecurities they had. But even still, like on shows where people like glowed up and stuff, it's rare, unless they were bullied. I think a lot of times if a person was bullied, then you'll see like shame and I really hate, or, you know, I was going through some kind of abuse, molestation, whatever the case is. things like that, and it reminds me of that. But if it's just I hated the way I look, you know, it's people, oh my God, I dress horrible, da da da, whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, bro, you want to have those to be able to look back at. Trust me, take from somebody who didn't want to go. You know, like I said, I still talk about it to my friends now. Those trips with that old lady. Hey, we going to the beach on this day, and it's funny because I did what she did, like, but it was playing, and it made sense. It was like a now or never type thing because my youngest mom was like, oh, I'm gonna pick him up, da da da, and it was like, well, I want to interfere with her coming. Let me just go ahead and knock it out, go, whatever. So, but I literally did a drama trip. Like, we're going on this day. We're gonna leave early in the morning, get there, whatever, stay, come back, you know, whatever. It's like, we want to do that. So, like I said, I was like, you know, the last trip I'm gonna make you come on. I say next year, for y'all graduation trip, which is funny because they're going to Disney or Florida for their senior trip anyway. But I was like, we're gonna go to Florida, hang out at Florida. I get, you know, an oceanfront resort or whatever, or, you know, beachfront property. We'll stay out there for a couple of days, and I'm like I said, the biggest thing, man, I got some really good pictures, like, because that's what I'm gonna do in the next coming weeks. I'll probably do it when they first in school or whatever, and they gone, then they come home, and like I said, I got pictures of all 5 of mine, all the Bloods, the Bronze, and the little bitty baby, the girl. So I had said that in my head, like, all right, I got the, you know, the big picture of drama, and I'm gonna have individual pictures of them, but I want pictures of all the kids that's under my umbrella, my protection, my provision, together. And I don't remember having any of those. So it was like, I'm gonna get them now. Boom. Got it at the beach, the Welcome to Virginia sign, got some of them on the beach, and it took a lot, and they was actually having fun with the photo shoot, like picking each other up, holding each other, stuff, like even the older ones. So the teenagers getting healed by everybody else. It was really a good time, man. We had fun, you know. So like, same thing, man. I want to do that next year to commemorate. Good God, I struggled with that for a second. I'm smart, y'all. I promise I am. Commemorate, you know, the trip and everything, and, you know, celebrate y'all accomplishment, man. Y'all made it through, you know, your senior year of high school. So I was like, we'll do that one. After that, you know, I'll invite you on the other ones. If you don't want to go, hey, brother, it is what it is. You know, you ain't got to go, but why I can kind of have an influence. I ain't going to say force you, but why I can influence your decision. I'm going to influence it for my own selfish reasons and for yours in the future. You'll see when you look back. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. They get on my nerves, but it really made my day. You know, like I've been saying, you know, for the last couple of visits or whatever, the house feels like home, especially when that little girl there. So this trip was full circle, man. Like I said, to see her out there, knowing that she's scared of the water, she got out there a little too deep. Her and my young kids, hey man, y'all get back over here. You know, she got some water in the face, but she didn't get scared. She didn't stop going. It was like, yeah, don't go out there that far with him. And don't you go out there that far either. What's wrong with y'all? Like, I ain't trying to fight no water. So, like I say, man, I was really happy to be able to make that happen. And can we come back? And like I said, we went to Virginia Beach. We hadn't been there, I think, in like 7 years, maybe since like 2019, 2018. Last time we went with the old lady, cause she was like, let's go to the beach. I think she was talking about going to like Myrtle or Carolina, one of the, you know, Carolina Beach. I'm like, no, let's go to Virginia. I like Virginia. We went, and they was building it up at that time. Like, you can see they were doing some construction stuff. So it was like volleyball nets as far as you could see. At least where we were, they had a playground right there. So she got to play on the playground. She fell one time, and was in the water on the sand. I don't know if she fell running or what. Somehow she got a rug burn, so her butt was burning when she was sliding. Yeah, nah, I can't enjoy this. She still enjoyed it for a little minute, and like some of the other stuff she just couldn't slide because her butt was hurting. But really good time, man. So Curry was a great week. I really enjoyed it. So that is that with the trip. What else happened around town? I'm gonna forget something. I did Dolo. Anything else with the kids? Of course, like I said, my youngest, he passed his belt test, so that was cool. He happy about that. Oh my God, and this dude, he always do something, man. So he did some stuff or whatever when we got back. The same day, like we just got back literally 2 hours ago, and you messing up already. And I had said that to him before. I don't know why. You have a thing either right before I'm gonna do something nice or right after, and you just you ruin the moment, bro. We were all basking in vacation trip beach ambiance and, you know, riding that wave in that high, and we get back and you do something foolish to put me in a bad mood. Why can't you just? So still love them. We're gonna get right or whatever. And they did, again, I did make sure before I dropped him off to his mom. And again, like I said, that boy hugged me 3-4 times a day, just I love you, come ask me some random stuff, tell me about whatever, because I, you know, expressed disappointment in him. He kind of kept his distance. So when I dropped him off to his mom, whereas normally, you know, unless he just forget, rushing, like he was asleep or something, rushing to get out, whatever. But no, I can tell this attitude, I ain't hug you. Nope, hey, come here. What's up? I was like, just because I'm mad, that don't mean I love you. And I hugged him, and then he started laughing. All right, love you too, Pop. I'll see you later. Like, yeah, no, we ain't doing that. We can beef, but it's always going to be love, man. Especially when we're parting, we're going to part with love. You're going to know that. So, that was that, man. So, like I said, really good last week. Because, of course, my oldest go back or whatever. So, really good week in that regard, man. Like I say, business is steady. Job prospects are there. Whatever, but we ain't dying for them. And just happy with life right now. Oh, yeah, so that. I spoke on how Noodle, a dang that killed Noodle, and I was like, all right, you know, I'm gonna face some music and check. So, there's this thing, right? What had happened was, after that, I went back one day, I checked and I looked, and it was like, oh man, I had left Noodle's cage, like it has an open front cage, so 2 doors or whatever, you boop, boop, hit the latch, you can open either side or both. And so when I looked, I'm like, oh man, the left side was open, so I'm gonna close that. Because the door's been open before, but Noodle really just hides under the substrate, like hay type stuff or whatever that goes in the bottom. So I'm like, all right, face the music, man. All right, let me check on this thing, make sure. So I'm looking. Noodle's out. And again, Noodle's very small. I couldn't find my iguana, who's noticeably bigger and way thicker than Noodle is, for, I know, over a week. And then they just pop back up. So I'm hoping the same thing, that I see Noodle, I can grab Noodle. So it lets me know. I'm confident Noodle isn't, you know, deceased. Still among in the land of the living. But in the land of the living, somewhere in the house. So I said I'm going to put the cage on the floor and leave the door open. And, you know, maybe a couple hours, because the mice get to stink and you leave them out. So, I had messed around and did that last time I bought them. What does that smell in my room? Yeah, it's 4 dead mice, or 3-4 dead mice. It's in a bag, but yeah, no, that smell. So, open the window, let that air out, and put them in the freezer, in my mini fridge. The smell got gone, but yes, I don't know where Noodle is. And I'm not gonna tell none of them that, because at least the oldest Brian, he's the only one that would get like scared. And now my youngest, he'll be fine. He'll be like, not paranoid, but I thought I saw when you did. So just like now, he said he's in him. Oh, okay, cool. Because I remember the apartment we stayed in before we moved into the house. Again, my youngest Brian, he's scared little. He's scared of everything. Lizards, bird. He just don't do animals, or most stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we were at the apartment last, and he was like, I saw a mouse. You see no fucking mouse? You're scared yourself. You just paranoid and seeing stuff. And then the older bro was like, nah, bro, there's a mouse under that chair. All right, put the chair back. Stuart freaking Little. What the heck? So it was a mouse in there. Luckily, I was able to catch it, put it in a box, put it outside, throw it out of the house, or whatever. Like, I threw it in the woods right behind the house. Guess what was back a week later? Same mouse. So I told what's calling them that, like the rental office, because they came out and sprayed for like parasites and stuff like that, rodents. And I was like, hey man, I caught a mouse. So they came and sprayed again. And then I was like, what you do with it? I threw it out in the woods. And the lady is Miss Georgia. I feel she's from the Midwest, maybe Detroit. I think she might be from Detroit. I feel like, yeah, like working at plants and stuff like that. Everybody did. So I think she's from Detroit. And so I was like, I threw it out in the woods. She was like, where in the woods? I was like, right behind the apartment. She was like, yep, not smart. That mouse is gonna come back. I'm like, what? She was like, if it got in there the first time and it's that close, it's something in your house that like it's gonna come back. And the house was clean, like it wasn't food or nothing like that sitting out. What I'm lying, because the kids would be eating in my living room when they wasn't supposed to, just like they do now. And you'll find food. I don't know. Nobody know who did it, who done it. So, like this is what I'm telling y'all. Stop eating around the house right here. We got mice. Or it was a mouse. It was never more than one. Or we saw one twice, or maybe 2, whatever. But it wasn't a bunch. And that was right around like the same year that we moved away, so it was fine. So I think I caught it the first time. Got rid of it. It came back. If I ain't mistaken, I think I trapped it the second time, and the second time I dropped it off like way far away from the house. So that was in our Stuart Little Mascatool problems. So that was that. This time last year, I don't got my freaking notebook in here, man. That's trash. I can remember though. This time last year, I probably can't. I know I ain't gonna remember all the jobs. Nope. think this week was when I did the pool table. My God, you talking about something whooped me. Just didn't take me into consideration at all. I hope he ain't out here. Don't come get me, because I ain't do nothing. And I don't speed. So, cool. He stayed, yeah. Go get somebody. Well, don't go get nobody. Ain't nothing speeding, I don't think. But, yeah, I remember I was on the phone with my aunt. It was up in the city I used to live in or whatever. So, I'm feeling good. Man, it's way simpler than I thought. When I say, I'm putting the pockets. If you play pool, the last thing you do on a pool table, I only did one, is put the pockets on there. I am putting the pockets on and about to shake up out of here in like the last 15 minutes. So the woman at the house was there. Her two sons in their 20s, they were there. The man of the house, her man, he wasn't there and it was for him. So all of us are overlooking, oh, this table is off. Like the slate, I did not put that on even. So I'm like, cool, finna finish up. The man's coming. Hey partner. I'm like, what's up? He was like, hey man, the slate off. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm trying to move it. Nope. You gotta undo almost everything. Cause you gotta remember, if you put a pool table, you drill the slate down. Like, yes, that screw down. So I'm trying to move it, not remembering, no, bro, that's drilled. Like, the screw's in place to hold it. It's not gonna move. It's not supposed to. So now I gotta take that apart. I gotta take the frame apart. I gotta take the pockets back out. I gotta lift the felt. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe that I had paid attention, saw that, got there right first. I'm out of there, everybody happy. So I took everything apart. Let's say I had been there for like, I think I got there like maybe 9 something or 10. And I spent an hour just on the phone with my aunt that does the balloons, like just talking business. Hey, I'm up in your area. If you finish on time, then let me know. You can stop by whatever. And we wrapped for an hour. So that added an hour. And I think I was finishing up at like, let's say like 3 something, 4 o'clock. So I'm like, this wasn't bad. About 5 hours, 4 or 5, depending on when I started and to the finish time. And he added an hour into me just talking and sitting. Man, this ain't nothing. I can do this. As I get back, he pointed that out to take everything off and put it back. Ended up being almost, I think, 10 hours. 10 and a half. You talking about somebody was pissed off at themselves? I'm hot. I'm sweaty. I had a restaurant. I want everything closed. I don't want to eat nothing. I just want to go home. So I know that was during this time. I think it was that. And, oh my gosh, I'm so mad that I don't have. See, this is why I need to keep a notebook with me. Let me look around, make sure it ain't there. I'm almost certain it's there. Oh, never mind. Ha! I do got my hand in that notebook. What you talking about? My bad. Give me a second. 2025. 30 week. Yes. So, nope, that was last time. I told the smoke right there, did that. That was for her. Yep, that was a co-worker, did that. That was that week. Fire drawer. And that's in the city. Okay, I had a 5-dresser drawer. I don't remember, but I did it. It's in my book. 2 Yogo bookcases. Northeast. I don't even know if that's in the city. Was I doing? No, because I was doing other cities then, and I didn't put one. I do remember those. I think I do. Matter of fact, was that when I was coming home? Yeah, I think that's actually when I was coming home. So I think I forgot. I think this is something like Hickory, and I forgot to put it. So yeah, I had those 2 bookcases. I had nope, that was from that one. I might be off. Pool ladder, buffet hutch, dresser, bed with 4 drawers. What was that for? That Huntersville. Oh, yep, because that was for her. Oh my God, she was amazing. Then him. So I think in the vanity. I don't know, bro. I know the pool table was on there. No, the pool table's for next week. I'm saying pool table's for next week. So I'm gonna say, if my memory serves me correct, co-worker. I think I just had 2. I think I had this 5-drawer dresser. And oh, why you guessing, brother? Hang on. Again, we got all the tools we need right here. that much, brother. Unless, okay, maybe it did. I think it did. Okay. Yes, I got it now. So it would have been the 30th to the 6th, to the 5th. 30th to the 5th. I'm gonna say, that's what we're going with. So, it was the 2 bookcases. Those were out of town, I remember. The pool table. That was it. Those were the only 2 jobs I had. Yep, I got it now. So, the bookcases were somewhat complex. They were like really fancy or whatever. And annoying. Because like it was parts that kept moving because it was like an abstract. But I got it done later, satisfied. I'm getting out of here and going home. And I had just started working. So, knocked those out. Like I said, that pool table whooped me. But I got it done. So, I feel confident in those now, especially as long as I pay attention. Moving that slate, I'll need some help with it. Like, hey, I ain't even finna try to do that by myself. Somebody coming with me or somebody gonna be at the house to help. Because them things heavy. But like I say, man, in comparison, look at how many more jobs I had now. That pool table, that was one of my biggest jobs today. Hold up now, we done made some money here. That was a good paying one or whatever. And you know, it just taught me what I know. My motto as far as work goes is work fast, work quick, but don't rush. You know what I'm saying? Like, cool, do everything fast, but make sure you're taking your time, or you're working fast and efficient and not just fast. Because if you're working fast and making mistakes, we know that can add hours or undo a job. Prime example, that pool table. Had to undo all that work when I would have been done. If I had stopped and thought, oh wait, this later, and I shoot pool, you know what I'm saying? This guy was talking about, well, I mean, anybody know who he is. But he was talking about gambling. He was like, man, this right before the football season, but I can't have the slate off because ain't nobody finna be wanting to gamble, you know, on the table that's off. So we gotta tighten it up and get it right. But to be able to fix it and get it right, and like I said, look back and see, hey, I learned from that mistake, I fixed it, and I know now moving forward. I've had like 1 or 2. I had a matter of fact, dude was supposed to hit me back. He wanted me to, was it disassemble? I think his pool table was already disassembled. We were talking like going, I want to say like, this might have been like to the beach. It might have been at least an hour, if not two or more away. And I'm like, I'm letting you know right now, I'm travel fee. You getting taxed on that. He's like, that's fine. So it's gonna be a travel fee, and then that's how much I charge. So as long as you got, yeah, that's good. Well, that's about what I made in a week, you know, when I was on my contract. So if you're willing to pay that, I know it's gonna take me, you know, a couple hours of drive, a couple hours back. This might be a 10, 12 hour day. I don't care. If I'm making what I'm making in 40 hours in 12, what are we talking about, gang? I'm good with it. So he ain't never hit me back though. So whatever. But yeah, man, we had that going on. Like I said, I had just started working, and, you know, during this week or whatever, got everything started. Me and my manager, they were cool, and I was just doing trainings because I didn't have my access yet or whatever. But the job was smooth sailing. Like there was never a time where I felt overwhelmed. You know, like, hey man, I got y'all. Just, you know, send stuff my way. They send it out, boom, get it back within 24 hours every time. Typically within right then, or you know, a few hours, but no longer than 24 hours, depending on how much I had going on and what was going on around me. So it's real solid, man. Like I said, they better look back and reminisce and know some of the stuff that I had going, or everything that I had going on at the time. So that's 30, man. Nope, like I said, I'll say that for 31. I got a few days. So that is it, my guy. I love you. Be kind to yourself. Of course, remember all our goals we're working on gonna happen overnight, not overnight. Ain't no more talk. Remember to get to where you're going, what we gotta put in. And the famous words of that Chump Rio: if you don't work, you don't eat. If you don't grind, you don't shine. And I stopped working, so I stopped eating, and it led to something that I'm gonna reference in 31. But I'm back on my grind, so I'm about to start shining. All right, my boy, I love you. I'll holler at you in 31. Reggie Miller.